The Warriors dynasty basically ended on April 17th, 2024. That was the day they lost to the Kings in the play-in. It was Klay Thompson's final game in a Warriors uniform, scored 0 points in 32 minutes. What a sad way to go out. They looked old with Steph at 35, just not enough talent around him. But then they got Jimmy Butler, and maybe with one more big trade, Golden State could extend that window. Constant rumors of maybe Giannis, even LeBron James. But what if I told you they might not need that big trade after all? Because a few games into this season, people are having to rethink what's possible for Golden State. And the reason is something no one predicted. Because what did they predict? 7th in the West, odds to win the conference with Minnesota. Not the same universe as OKC or Denver. You know, the real contenders. And it makes sense. 7 seed last year, second round exit, potentially the oldest starting lineup in history. But then some experts disagreed. Big time. This guy Kevin Pelton at ESPN predicted 56 wins, neck and neck with OKC. How is that possible? Well, the big factor was a full season of Jimmy Butler. But even ESPN didn't predict what we're seeing now. But we are on a heater on PrizePicks recently. But hey, look, winning cash, just a side quest for me. The main reason I play is to put my picks in. There's a little more juice, meaning I have a lot more fun watching these games. And the best part for me is how easy the app is to use. You just pick more or less on a few players' stats and get your picks in, like my 2 picks for tonight. So first up is Rui, less on his PRAs. And then John Collins, more on his offensive boards. And PrizePicks available in 45 states, including Texas, where I live, and California. And if you play just $5 with the code AMHoops, you get $50 in lineups instantly, win or lose. That is play 5, get 50 code AMHoops. But a full season of Jimmy and Steph could be huge. Last year, after getting Jimmy, Warriors had the #1 defense and went 23-8 before the playoffs. The only reason Minnesota blew them out was Steph got injured. Offseason got Al Horford, D'Anthony Melton, which is great. But now something happening 10 times more impactful. It turns out the guy Golden State couldn't wait to trade is now the key to everything. Jonathan Kuminga spent years fighting Steve Kerr for a bigger role in minutes. People said, hey, it's not if the Dubs trade him this year, it's when. There was a huge contract dispute, eventually signed for 2 years, $46.5 million with a team option. That made it clear. Kuminga, easy to trade, and the team option gave Golden State control. He could be dealt January 15th. Oh, Dubs fans are ready. For example, this post on Warriors Reddit starts with, hey, barring a miracle, we are going to be active in the trade market. Then he lists like 34 targets, like anyone but Kuminga. But somehow, that miracle is happening in Golden State. Kuminga's not only playing well, but he earned the trust of Steve Kerr. Some people said was impossible. But how could that happen? Why is this version of Kuminga working when previous attempts failed miserably? Well, the main problem boiled down to this. The Warriors are at their best when they're all about Steph Curry. So every role player has to be in service of Steph. But JK refused. Too often all about him. So as far as Steve Kerr was concerned, JK gotta go. For example, B-Ball Breakdown had this play. Last year, Steph wants Moody to pass so that he can get this great open look. But instead, ball stops with JK. Look at Steph's body language. He is so done with this man. Like, what are you doing? Then Steph's like, all right, you're gonna drive. Well, there's Moody in the corner. But Kuminga, tunnel vision, contested mid-range miss. Another example, last March, JK gets the ball with 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Plenty of time for the motion Warriors offense. Josh Hart on Draymond, so if Dre and Steph do their thing, perfect mismatch for Curry. Instead, JK, tunnel vision, runs into a wall, turns it over. So Kuminga is all about him. Works best with Steph off the floor. Like round 2, Minnesota averaged 24 points without Curry. Great, but you have to work with Steph. It's the whole point of being on the Warriors. And somehow this year, he is doing it. Game 1, Lakers. Kuminga gets the ball, but instead of driving, he waits. Then, Steph draws defenders to the basket, leading to a wide open JK 3. Working with Steph, not against him. Then, pass to Draymond, screen for Steph, and watch Rui's eyes. He is distracted by Steph just enough for JK to break open and gets rewarded. So offense just comes easy when you work with Steph's greatness rather than against it. But that's not the only change in JK's game. Instead of looking to score, head up, sees Draymond cut for the easiest basket you'll see. But this is the prettiest pass of his life. Tell me you didn't think this was a triple team contested layup. Instead, he just dumps it to his new teammate Al Horford. But it's not just the passing. JK's efficiency and rebounds are off the charts. But if you want to be on Steve Kerr's good side, it is all about defense. And Kuminga is guarding the other team's best player on a top 10 NBA defense. So Steve Kerr now says he is giving the 4th permanent starting job to Steph, Draymond, Jimmy, and Jonathan Kuminga. That is huge, because JK's biggest enemy for 4 years was his own head coach. It got so bad he once leaked to The Athletic, Jonathan Kuminga has lost faith in Coach Steve Kerr, and the 2021 lottery pick no longer believes Kerr will allow him to reach his full potential. But now, they are best buds. And somehow, Kuminga has changed his ways and might be the perfect player for the Golden State Warriors. Like, think about it. A young, athletic, two-way wing, something they do not have. And beating the Grizzlies, Dubs had 4 20-point scorers. Steph, not one of them. 3 of them were Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody, and Jonathan Kuminga. A huge sign the old Warriors might be able to grind through that 82-game regular season. But here's why it's so much bigger than just JK's playing well. This might be the single thing that changes how Steph's career ends. They've got young guys to provide depth and chemistry. The 2 timeline thing might actually work. Because, you know, Steph's 37. He shouldn't have to drag the team like it's 2016 into games, exhausted because the defense sold out on him for 40 straight minutes. It wasn't sustainable or fair. But now, if JK truly becomes this guy, a two-way wing that created his own offense and take the toughest defensive assignment, this is the one thing the dynasty never had. Had KD, not a homegrown bridge to the future, neither was Wiggins. But if Kuminga becomes that guy, Steph doesn't have just one playoff run left in him, it could be multiple. And if that happens, we're not just talking about extending the window. It could change how NBA history remembers Steph's final chapter. But how far could those playoff runs actually go? Because the only thing that matters right now is OKC. Well, actually, something huge is in Golden State's favor. Because first of all, everyone talks like the Thunder are invincible. They went to 7 against Denver and Indy last year, and who knows what happens if Hallie doesn't get injured. And yes, OKC looks amazing, but Golden State plays them tough. In fact, the Warriors are 3-4 against OKC the last 2 years. 2 of the losses came in OT, and the other 2, Steph was out. Oh, and by the way, they didn't have Jimmy Butler for any of them. So I'm not saying that they would be favorites, but do not count out the Warriors in a Thunder matchup, especially with this version of Jonathan Kuminga. Now, I will admit, all of this could be a smokescreen for what happens next. The Warriors might still look to move JK at the deadline, just improve his trade stock with a bigger role now. And the Warriors' schedule is about to get real tough. 9 of the next 11 games are on the road. But if they can come out of this healthy and looking good, we absolutely put Golden State in that OKC Denver tier, because Jonathan Kuminga is turning into the perfect Warrior. But an even bigger leap this season has been Victor Wembanyama. Like JK, might be up for most improved, but Wemby is on a whole other level. In fact, the Wemby that everyone always feared is finally here. But how did he do it? What is actually different about his game that's making him so much more dominant?